set, hut, hut.
As the hills of West Virginia resound with the sounds of Golden Blue football.
Almost heaven, West Virginia.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers. Goes around about the 15 to 10 to 5. A touchdown, West Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Patrick White. Touchdown, Tavon Austin.
But Don Nehlen's Mountaineers enjoy walking in where angels fear to tread.
I think you think that these guys are going to fall over dead for you. Well, I got news for you. They're going to punch you right in the mouth.
It's Mountaineer pride.
Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football. West Virginia football.
We've no doubt tonight they shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue. Not this night. They've done it. They've done it. A perfect season. And the Mountaineers, for the first time in history, undefeated and untied.
Don Nehlen and his Mountaineers, for the second time, have finished a regular season with an unblemished mark.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer, wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome back into another live stream here on the Country Roads webcast, May 4th edition. And we got exciting news for both WVU football and, yes, WVU basketball again as well. And late last night, West Virginia received a commitment from an offensive lineman, but of course it was well after my bedtime, so I haven't had a chance to talk about him yet. So we will talk about Donovan Haslam. And then later today, or I guess earlier today, I should say, West Virginia received a commitment from Logan Ramper as well, the wide receiver from Slippery Rock. So both of those guys were two players that we had on commitment watch in our previous stream, and we'll continue to talk about guys that are on commitment watch as we'll update our transfer target list as well on the football side, in addition to talking about those two guys that West Virginia's picked up via the portal, and maybe you can try and find out who may be next for the Mountaineers, because they're not quite done just yet, just like WVU basketball is not done just yet either. No, it had been a little bit quiet there on the Western Front for the basketball side of things for a while. People were kind of wondering when that was going to pick back up. Well, how about today? West Virginia picks up another commitment from a guard, and yet again, it's another guy that can really shoot the rock from the outside. West Virginia continues to add three-point shooters to this basketball roster. So tail half of the show, we'll talk the basketball commitment and update the transfer tracker on the basketball side as well. See if we got any other targets that West Virginia may be looking at. So that's what's on the docket. Front half here, we'll talk commitments for the football team, then do a transfer target update. Then in the back half of the show, we'll do the same for the basketball side of things. But appreciate you guys tuning into this one live, whether you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Those of you that are on the Facebook or Twitch page, be sure to come over to the Country Roads Webcast YouTube channel, subscribe here so you can get access to the pre-recorded videos and podcast episodes, in addition to these live streams where we try and keep you up to date on the transfer portal season here in both sports. But those of you that are watching on YouTube, be sure to help us out. Just take a second really quickly. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps us out a ton with that YouTube algorithm. And be sure, throw your thoughts in the chat if you're in here live. If you're watching after the fact, you can throw them in the comments. And you can still hit that like button and help us out, even if you're watching this on a replay and are not watching live here. But with that being said, let's get into it. Let's talk about each one of these guys. Let's lead it off talking about Donovan Haslam, since he was the first one that came in late last night. Like I said, we had him on commitment watch in our previous stream. The offensive lineman from Austin Peay commits to the Mountaineers. He says committed, let's do it, West Virginia. And you see his commitment graphic there. Nice tackle coming from Austin Peay, moving up a level, but West Virginia, needed some guys that could play tackle. Donovan Haslam certainly has a lot of experience playing tackle, and we're excited to add him to our transfer in list, which we will do momentarily. But before we do, let's learn a little bit more about him, courtesy of our guy Keenan Cummings over at Rivals with a great transfer 101 right up here on Donovan Haslam. Let's learn a little bit about the newest addition to West Virginia's offensive line as the Mountaineers continue to overhaul that offensive line here via the portal in this cycle. I believe he is the fifth one that has came in just this transfer cycle, and I still think they may add another one. We'll see what happens there, but Donovan Haslam is officially in the fold for the Mountaineers. 6'4", 332-pounder, received a scholarship offer back on April 28th after he entered the portal on April 16th. Multiple scholarship offers, highly sought after, as you can see there, from multiple places sending him offers. Originally a Georgia native, just took a visit to West Virginia over the weekend and was able to close the deal with the commitment. Played 622 snaps last season and started a total of 9 games at left tackle, which was his most extensive playing time of his career. Played in 2 games at left guard the year before and spent time at both tackle spots across 7 games in 2022. So definitely seems like more of a fit for the tackle spot, more of his natural position, and he'll have time at West Virginia to be able to find that out as he has 2 years of eligibility remaining, actually. So the rare addition that we've seen, a lot of these are 1-year guys. Haslam actually has 2 years remaining. 5th offensive line commitment for West Virginia, as we expected. Here's a little bit of the data. He's played a total of 761 snaps across the O-line at Austin Peay, and coming off his most experience this past year, where he had 622 of those snaps. 430 pass blocking snaps in his career, and has been strong in that department, hitting at least a grade of nearly 73 in all 3 of his years. So very good pass blocking grade, especially playing the tackle spot. Run blocking, he's played 331 snaps and is graded out at 58.0 this past season, although he has the size and movement to profile well in that department. So not a great grade in the run blocking department, but definitely can improve and will improve, I'm sure, here at WVU, where that's something that he will be focusing on more. But across his career snaps, Haslam has only given up 1 sack and allowed just 17 total pressures. He has spent the vast majority of his snaps at left tackle, 674 out of his 761 total snaps there at left tackle. So got to think that's probably where he'll fit in at WVU, as we talk about fitting the program here. WVU has been very aggressive in adding offensive linemen this spring, and the addition of Haslam brings the total to 21 in the room, with 10 of those being transfers. Haslam has the versatility to play multiple positions, but brings valuable time at left tackle at the college level under his belt. He's going to be able to compete for a time immediately this summer, but with 2 years of eligibility remaining, would have an extra year to work in the position room. Physical blocker that has the size and athleticism to make the jump to the next level, coming up from Austin Peay. So Donovan Haslam commits to WVU. Let's go ahead and take him now from our transfer target list to our transfer in list. He is one of 2 football commits we have to discuss here. And of course, like I said, we had him on commitment watch in the previous stream, and that pays off, as now he does indeed commit to the Mountaineers, and we can bring him up here, add him to our transfer in list. Like we said, the 5th offensive lineman West Virginia has added in just this cycle, the 10th offensive line transfer they've added overall, when you look at the 5 that they added in the previous transfer portal cycle as well. And good size here with Haslam at 6'4", 330 pounds. Joins that transfer in list there. But he wasn't the only transfer target that we had on commitment watch that ended up committing to the Mountaineers. We also last stream talked about Logan Ramper, who would be coming in on a visit. Indeed, visited WVU, and guess what? He committed as well. So we will be talking about Logan Ramper now. Let's go ahead and add him to our transfer in list as well. The wide receiver from Slippery Rock, which, if you guys remember from the previous stream, is one that I was excited about because obviously the ability to play the outside receiver position, which is what West Virginia was going after in this portal. But also just look at the size on him. 6'4", 215 pounds is a great frame for a receiver. And I think he kind of fills a need at the position that West Virginia doesn't really have, and having that long, rangy, big-bodied outside receiver. He's kind of the first one on the roster that kind of fits that mold, especially with the height that he possesses at 6'4", 215 pounds. So he joins the transfer in list now as well. And let's talk a little bit about Logan Ramper now. Let's pull up his commitment that he shared earlier today, which I thought was really cool because it has some nice pictures tied into it as well, if I can find it here. There it is. So you see he says, "Buried by doubt, I bloom. Hashtag take me home. All glory to God." You see his commitment graphic here. And then you see one pic from his visit. And then we see another pic from his visit here. But this picture right here is really cool as well. Check this out. As a kid, rocking the Geno Smith jersey. So obviously been a WVU fan for quite some time, a Pennsylvania native, initially, of course, playing there at Slippery Rock as well in PA. But, Pitt was highly sought after him, and West Virginia was as well. So he ends up picking the good side of the rivalry there in the backyard brawl. But you got to love the fact that he's a guy that, was wearing a Geno Smith jersey back in the day, and now he's going to be a Mountaineer receiver here coming up from Slippery Rock. There's the commitment graphic one more time for Logan Ramper, the 6'4", 215-pound receiver that I think has some really good hands, really good ball skills, And let's take a look at this right here, a small little highlight package, which you can find this whole thing on social media. I'm just going to play about 30 seconds or so you guys can get a glimpse at some of the plays here in it. But you definitely see multiple things here. You see the great hands that he has, and you see some of the athleticism as well, especially on one of the final plays that we'll check out here in this video. But let's go ahead. Let's share this from Logan Ramper at Slippery Rock. So there you see a great contested catch right there, which he has a few of those here in this brief little highlight package. And you love the little bit of charisma there at the end as well. There he was burning somebody deep. And look at that grab, falling to the ground, 2 defenders around, goes down, makes the catch. That's the ball skills and nice hands I'm talking about right there. Here you see a little bit of the athleticism, catching what looked like a screenplay, getting downfield. And right here is the big time athleticism that I'm talking about. Wow. Goes up over someone with a hurdle over the top. So there you see in just those small little 30 seconds of that little highlight package of Logan Ramper, you see him utilizing the great frame on a deep ball, making a contested catch in the end zone. You see him, burning somebody, so definitely has the speed to play on the outside. And you see a couple of plays that show off the athleticism there as well, particularly hurdling over a guy that's pretty much standing up straight there in the last clip that we saw. So excited about the addition of Logan Ramper as well. I think West Virginia's done a good job adding to, of course, the offensive line and adding to the skill positions in this transfer portal cycle. So let's pull it up one more time to highlight the transfer in list thus far. Logan Ramper and Donovan Haslam, the 2 latest additions, but just the rundown here. I'll run down the names for you guys that listen to this on the audio side, because I have been trying to do a better job of putting these live streams up on the podcast side as well. But we have this transfer class thus far at the time of this stream, which is May the 4th. Like I said, I think subject to change in the near future. West Virginia is going to be hauling in some more commitments here over the next few days, I do believe. But right now you have offensive lineman Mikkel Clay, tight end Grayson Barnes, cornerback Nick Taylor, wide receiver Christian Hamilton, defensive lineman Eddie Kelly, linebacker Ben Bogle, offensive lineman Josh Isosa, kicker Cade Hensley, offensive lineman Malik Ogbo, wide receiver Justin Smith-Brown, wide receiver Jordan McCants, running back Jalen Knighton, defensive back Kalen Gray, linebacker John Lewis, offensive lineman Carson Lee, defensive back Darian Lewis, running back Cannon Katzer, offensive lineman Donovan Haslam, and wide receiver Logan Ramper. Of course, those last 2 being the 2 that we just discussed. And that's West Virginia's transfer in list thus far. But who else may be coming? That's what we got to talk about now. Let's talk transfer targets on the football side. Before we talk about other guys that are on commitment watch, we got to do a little bit of purging of the list here. There are some guys that have committed elsewhere. So let's go ahead and remove some of those. One of those being Aaliyah Boykin, who we knew was going to be visiting WVU, actually committed to Boston College on 3, sharing that recently. So we can go ahead and we can remove Boykin from our target list. And we do have a new addition to the target list as well that we're going to talk about, and may or may not be someone that's on commitment watch also. So let's pull back up the football target list here. Let's take Boyd off since he committed elsewhere. And then we will talk about the other new addition to the list, talk about some guys on commitment watch as well. So we can take Boykin off here. The Boston, as he commits to Boston College, the former Barton College edge rusher. He's committed elsewhere, so we'll remove him from the list. And then we also have one more that is committed elsewhere, I do believe. Yes, we do here on the football side. And that is a tight end target West Virginia was previously going after. We know they added Grayson Barnes. We know they're expected to add one more tight end. One that they had previously been targeting that we had talked about on previous streams is Ball State tight end Christian Abney, but he is committed to Illinois. So that's another one we'll take off the transfer target list here. And then we got to highlight in addition to that list, then we'll talk about who we have on commitment watch, as we had a couple of guys on commitment watch commit here in this stream. Let's remove Christian Abney. And let's talk about the new addition that you see here at the bottom, which funny enough is another tight end. And I really like this one in Ryan Ward. No, West Virginia needs to bring in another tight end. Could it be Ryan Ward? West Virginia certainly has a shot at him, as he actually has visited WVU over the weekend. As you can see here, he put it out on social media. Almost Heaven sharing a little clip from his video there and a couple pictures here, which you can see there that he showcased on social media. Like I said, a UNC transfer tight end. Virginia seems to be the main competition. Believe he's going to end up at WVU or Virginia. I think he's actually visiting Virginia today. Visited WVU over the weekend. So we should get a decision from Ryan Ward soon. And hopefully it ends up with the good guys here, and he ends up committing to the Mountaineers as well. But let's pull up a little bit of his bio here really quickly so I can talk about him, and then we'll talk about guys that we have on Commitment Watch here before we transition over and talk a little bit of basketball updates, because we do have a commitment to talk about on that side of things as well. So Ryan Ward would be an interesting pickup because he is one that will have multiple years of eligibility remaining as well. You see the great size there, 6'3", 245 pounds, from New Jersey initially, at North Carolina. Didn't appear in any games, it looks like, or it was only used on special teams in the games that he was appearing in. So actually may get that year of eligibility. We may be talking about a guy with 4 years of eligibility remaining here with Ryan Ward. Let's see if we can pull up what he was rated coming out of high school there at the position, since he is still very young. That'll give us a little bit more of a sample size there, I do believe. Let's see if I can pull up his recruiting page here on 247. So Ryan Ward coming out of high school, of course, ended up at North Carolina. We talked about the good size there, 6'4", nearly 250 pounds. High-rated 3-star, 85 grade, top 100 tight end in the country, and a top 40 player in the state of New Jersey. So not a bad prospect by any means. And I think you're talking about a really high-ceiling guy with Ryan Ward. So we'll keep an eye on him, as West Virginia will add another tight end in this class. And Ryan Ward is one that is definitely in the mix, as he recently visited WVU. So for now, this is what the target list looks like, as it has shrunk down with guys committing elsewhere, West Virginia landing some of these guys that they've targeted, but multiple of these guys have came in on visits recently. So let's talk about who's on commitment watch here. And it is several names on this list. We're going to have tight end Ryan Ward on commitment watch, as he just came in recently. Linebacker Devin Grant from Incarnate Word, the edge rusher, also on commitment watch. And then offensive lineman Jalen Caldwell from Grand Valley State is one we're keeping an eye on, as he visited WVU recently. Like I said, I think West Virginia still will add at least one more offensive lineman in this class. Could it be Caldwell? Perhaps. We're on commitment watch for him. Can't rule out West Virginia sneaking in another offensive lineman under the radar that we don't know about, and maybe that's the one. But I think we will see another offensive line addition. And then defensive back Jacob Robinson from Emory and Henry is on commitment watch. And then wide receiver Isaiah Spencer from Jackson State is one we're keeping an eye on as well, as he visited WVU also. So those are the names to keep an eye on commitment watch-wise. Ryan Ward from UNC, the tight end, linebacker Devin Grant from Incarnate Word, offensive lineman Jalen Caldwell from Grand Valley State, and defensive back Jacob Robinson from Emory and Henry. So that's pretty much what I had on the football side of things. The only other thing I wanted to highlight really quickly was that football did make another small staff addition in Jonathan Brainerd joining the staff as the director of sports nutrition. So I wanted to share that info as well. But other than that, we got Haslam in the fold. We got Logan Ramper in the fold, and we got multiple guys still on commitment watch. So I say, probably expect, another handful or half handful of commitments over this coming week for WVU as they continue to shape out this transfer portal class, which is shaping out to be a really good one, I do believe, for the Mountaineers, and excited about all of these additions. So with that being said, we'll switch gears here. We'll talk basketball updates now. We do have a commitment to talk about, and then we'll do a transfer target update on the basketball side as well. But before I do, take a swig of my water, and then I will catch up on some of your all's comments. All right. Hey, I see Matthew in here. What's going on, Matthew? Good to see you. I see my dad in here. What's going on, Dad? Good to see you in here always. I know you usually watch the replays. Glad to see you pop in on a live. Like and share. Definitely appreciate those reminders, everyone. You can always share it, copy and paste the link on your social medias. That helps as well. Eric Flowers says things are looking up. Indeed, Eric. Indeed, things are looking up both for WVU football and basketball as well. And hey, as WVU Wildman 82, a channel member here reminds us, can't forget baseball. As the WVU baseball team, still kicking ass. First place in the Big 12. Smash that like button and subscribe. I appreciate those kind words, WVU Wildman 82. And yes, always got to give WVU baseball their due and give them their shout out that they've earned with an incredible season thus far. And hopefully that continues. Mike55 said liked and cheered. I appreciate that, Mike. It means a lot, man. Devil Dog 44 says both staffs have been killing it as far as getting the talent they want. Hopefully they can have a modicum of success with such massive rebuilding in both programs. Yeah, that's the only thing. It's a big time overhaul of both rosters for both sports. But the good news is, it's been proven it can be done in 1 year. So let's hope we can have quick turnarounds with both. But definitely that's what we're hoping for. Fingers crossed, Devil Dog. Fingers crossed. Always appreciate you as well. Appreciate you, Matthew. Good to see you, man. Yeah, my guy Matthew here, better known as Mountaineers Report there on social media, has been helping me keep up with some of these transfer targets and let me know when they commit elsewhere, because it's hard to keep up with. Sometimes I miss them, but we got Boykin off the list. And Matthew also adds a good point here in regards to the tight end there, Ryan Ward, that we're chasing with Woods and Hamilton committed. I like our chances. Great point. Great point there, Matthew, because guys, remember in the first transfer cycle, we brought in Ashton Woods, the linebacker from UNC. This portal cycle, we've brought in Christian Hamilton, the wide receiver from UNC. So that may give us a leg up on UVA to land Ryan Ward. Fingers crossed we can land the UNC tight end as well. Mike 55 says O-line still the biggest concern. I would say probably so, just because it's going to be all new faces there, right? But I have less worry about the offensive line now because I really do like a lot of the pieces that they brought in this portal cycle. And I think you pair those with the guys you brought in the first portal cycle, and between those, 10 plus names, you're going to be able to get a good solid starting five, I think. And, a good 2 deep as well with the ones that don't earn the starting nods. And most of those guys are heavy experienced guys. A lot of them are here for the final year of eligibility, several of them coming from the SEC, especially in this cycle. So I think, it is a concern, but I'm a lot less worried about it now than I was heading into this transfer portal cycle, Mike, for sure. Cliffhanger says, hope we get things back quick, as do I. Tosh Miller, channel member, says, hit that like button. Hey, appreciate that reminder, Tosh. Yeah, you guys would hit that like button, whether you're watching live or on a replay. Help us out with that crazy YouTube algorithm. If you didn't get a chance to chat with us live, you can throw your thoughts in the comments. Always appreciate those interactions. And those of you that are on Facebook or Twitch, be sure to come over to the CRW YouTube channel, subscribe here so you can get the pre-recorded videos and podcast episodes in addition to these live streams. But appreciate you guys in here live with your questions and comments. With that being said, let's switch gears here. Let's talk a little WVU basketball now because, hey, finally, we got some movement there as well. I know we were all getting worried, wondering when we were going to get more transfer portal movement on the basketball side. It comes down today, and it's another good three-point shooter for the Mountaineers in Morris. And I hope I'm not going to butcher the last name too much. Ugusuk is what I'm going to say. Morris Ugusuk commits to WVU, and it's another power conference transfer as well, which those are always good to land. As we can see here, Sam Kaiser, 247 High School Hoops is the first one that I saw share this on social media earlier. But South Carolina transfer Morris Ugusuk has committed to West Virginia. 6'4" guard who played 2 seasons for South Carolina, a native of Helsinki, Finland. Averaged 5.9 points per game, so right at 6 points per game. 1 rebound, shot 40% from the three-point line, nearly 41% from the three-point line. So another great shooter added into the mix in South Carolina transfer, Morris Ugusuk. I got to try to keep remembering how to pronounce that. I think that's right. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I'm going with here. Apologies if it's not exactly correct. So let's learn a little bit more about his game, courtesy of Keenan Cummings over at Rivals, with his transfer 101 write-up again. Because Morris Ugusuk is one that I was not aware West Virginia was targeting. It's another one of those that they sneak in under the radar on us and get a commitment from before we even know that they're after him, which we're excited to see on the basketball side because it had been quiet there for a while. West Virginia needed, some reserve guards. They have one here. They need some reserve big men as well. I expect that'll come in short order. But Morris Ugusuk joins 6'4", 170-pounder, spent 2 seasons with South Carolina where he appeared in 62 games and even had 6 starts. So not only someone that has power conference experience, but even started a few games at the power conference level. Like we said, 6 points, 1 rebound, 38% field goal percentage, and nearly 41% from 3 is definitely the most impressive part of his game. Did make an official visit after entering the portal back on April 4th, originally a native of Helsinki, Finland. Gives the Mountaineers a large guard that has had success at the power conference level. Over the course of this past season, he scored 20 points against Vandy, 18 against Indiana, and 15 against Oklahoma. So there you go, against SEC competition, scoring 20 points, scoring 18 points against Big Ten competition, and he has 2 years of eligibility remaining. So not only can help this year, but can potentially help in the future as well. reclassified to join South Carolina in the 2023 class out of the Drive Basketball Academy in Finland, where as a senior, he averaged 17 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. First commitment for the Mountaineers since April 20th. So like we said, they're a quiet couple of weeks, but now a total of 9 roster spots filled for the upcoming season with, of course, 8 transfers and then DJ Thomas coming from the high school ranks. As far as how he fits the program, Ugusuk is best in catch and shoot or spot up situations, hit over 40% of his 3-point attempts a season ago. And I think that fits well. He can come in as a reserve player off the bench and really be, a spot up guy you can run off the screens. You can have Jasper Floyd drive and kick. You can have your other guards drive and kick to Ugusuk, who's out there spotting up. Can effectively shoot the ball in screen situations, strong shooter both from the wings and the corners, which is ideal for driving kick scenarios, both the wings and the corners. Ugusuk has the toolbox to put the ball on the floor and get to the rim to score, as well as move effectively without the ball to set himself up for easy baskets. Putting the ball on the floor and shooting, not a strong suit of his, so obviously more of a catch and shoot guy, but he's a player that can fill several roles for West Virginia, has good length, and can provide a reliable shooting option to help further space the floor. Hopefully he can help a little bit with the rebounding and defensive side of things with his good size there at 6'4". But with his addition, let's pull up our basketball transfer in list now as well, and talk about where it stands with the new addition here of Ugusuk, the 6'4", 170-pounder from South Carolina. So the basketball transfer in list goes as follows: center Harlan Obioha, forward Brennan Lorient, guard Honor Huff, forward Jackson Fields, guard Jasper Floyd, guard Chance Moore, and guard/forward Trayson Eaglestaff. And of course now Morris Ugusuk, the guard from South Carolina, joins that list. Those are the basketball transfers thus far, but hey, we got to update our basketball transfer target list as well now. And really the only updates I have there is taking a couple of more names off the list. And hopefully here in the near future, we'll see some more names West Virginia's targeting we can add. But for now, Jordan Marsh has committed to USC, so we will remove him from the target list. And then we also have the other Traore West Virginia was targeting in Iowa transfer, Seydou Traore, has committed to Utah, and that was a previous WVU target. So we'll remove both Traore and Marsh from the basketball target list, and then we will let you know who remains there that we know of thus far. Like I said, there may be some other names on the basketball list that I am unsure of because Ugusuk snuck in under the radar, and there could be more that do that. If you missed our last stream, we did talk about the recent additions of Sebastian Akins from the University of Denver and guard Curtis Givens from LSU. So thus far, of course, the names in blue have already committed to WVU. Targets that remain uncommitted that West Virginia has previously reached out to are Terrence Ginyard, a guard from UT Martin, Keontae Jones, a forward from Cal State Northridge, who had committed to USC but recently decommitted. So I'll be anxious to see if West Virginia gets back in the mix for him, how that plays out. Ante Brezovic from the College of Charleston is a big man West Virginia has reached out to in the past, remains uncommitted, as does guard Jacob Darr from Rice, forward Jacoby Coles from Grand Canyon, and then, of course, as we talked about, Sebastian Akins and Curtis Givens, a couple other guards that West Virginia has targeted. So small transfer target list here on the basketball side as things have been quiet here recently, but I'm sure now that they've picked up another commitment, things are going to continue to pick up here, and we'll have more portal updates to bring on the basketball side as well as football. Hopefully this means that gets back up going hot and heavy, but I can guarantee you that football will continue hot and heavy over the next few days, and we're going to get some more commitments. So be on the lookout for those. Maybe some of those guys we put on commitment watch here in the front half of the stream for the football side, but that's what I had, guys. We get Haslam, the offensive lineman, in on the football side. We get Ramper, the receiver, in on the football side, plus a handful of names still on commitment, which they're commitment watch list there on the transfer target list for the football side. And then, of course, Ugusuk in on the basketball side, and hopefully get some more news there in the near future. But other than that, catch up on some of y'all's comments, and we will call it a stream here. Ugusuk. So I wasn't too far off there, Matthew. Appreciate that, man. Ugusuk is how you pronounce it actually there. So glad to have him in there on the basketball side. But appreciate you guys that did come in here and chat live a little bit. If you didn't get a chance to chat live, throw your thoughts in the comments. Always appreciate those interactions as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. If you're listening to this after the fact on the audio side, leave us a rating there. That helps us as well. Try and do a better job of putting these live streams up for you guys to listen to in podcast format as well. And of course, be back in the near future, most likely tomorrow, to provide more transfer portal updates and more WVU sports news updates. I've been live pretty much every day trying to cover this transfer portal news. Been a couple of days we missed here and there, but got to kind of do it to kind of stay up on it, because there's commitments every day. There's targets committing elsewhere every day. There's guys coming in on visits and WVU reaching out to new people every day. And we'll continue to keep you up to date with that here on the Country Roads webcast, if I could remember the name of the channel correctly. But as always, you guys on the Facebook and Twitch side, be sure to come over to the YouTube channel so you can stay up to date with all things happening on WVU football and WVU basketball with our pre-recorded videos and podcast episodes in addition to these live streams. Before you head out, hit the thumbs up button, help us out with that crazy YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you guys as always. I'll be back to chat with you guys in the near future and provide you future transfer portal updates for both WVU football and WVU basketball, and expect more news on the football side in the near future. Keep an eye on those guys that we have on Commitment Watch, because I think we'll hear some good news on that in the near future. Fingers crossed, just reading the tea leaves and hoping for the best. But hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Hopefully have some more transfer portal news in the near future. As always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.